Once again, good morning, my dear students. And today we will discuss a new chapter, metals and non-metals. Okay, and this is from your chemistry part. Students, in this chapter, we will discuss about the properties, physical as well as chemical properties of metals and non-metals. Right? Let's start. Elements can be classified as we have already learned in our junior classes also. Elements can be classified into two forms, metal as well as non-metals on the basis of their properties, right? Example of metals are in your day to day life you must have seen in your surrounding, like iron, aluminium, copper, silver, right? They all are the example of metals. And some non-metals are hydrogen, nitrogen, sulfur, oxygen. They all are the examples of our non-metals, right? Now we will discuss physical properties of metals and non-metals. In physical properties we learn about their state, their hardness, means which we will be able to see. Those properties which we will be able to see, those are called as physical properties. Like first, lustrous means it has, whether it's a shining surface is known as lustrous. So metals have this shining surface, and non-metals, they do not have this shining surface, except I am repeating, except iodine. Students, you have seen, maybe in your house, you must have seen the substance iodine, which doctor apply at on the wound. It contain iodine, and if you take that ointment iodine cream in cream form, then you have seen some shining material in it. That is nothing but your iodine. So iodine is a non-metal, but it has, somehow it has shining surface. Okay. State, metals are in solid state except mercury, right? Again, in your thermometer, through which you can measure your body temperature, as well as in your laboratory you have must seen that thermometer, it contain mercury, it is in liquid form. And non-metal exists in the solid gases except bromine is in liquid form, right? Malleable means you can convert these metals into thin sheets. So the property of converting these metals into thin sheets is known as malleability. Okay, so metals are malleable in nature. You can easily convert metals into the thin sheets by beaten them with the help of hammer and all. Metals can be beaten into thin sheet and you can form thin sheet. Whereas non-metals are non-malleable. Non-malleable means they cannot be converted into thin sheets. Ductile, ductility means ductility means you can stretch the metal and converted it into thin wire. Okay, so metals can be drawn into thin wire, and this property is known as ductile. And non-metals are non-ductile, means we cannot convert non-metals, we can't convert non-metals into thin wire, like your copper, and even in silver and gold chain, right? Next, conductor. Metals are good conductor of heat and electricity, means even you can see from through this diagram also. See, metals are generally good conductor, like copper, iron, aluminium, and conductor of heat and electricity, except lead and mercury. Sometime one mark question is there, write the metals which are not good conductor of heat and electricity. Then you have to write the answer. lead and mercury. Okay, see this in this diagram. They have shown you a battery, right? This is I'll show you in the zoom form. Wait, just wait, I'll zoom this picture. Okay, see this. In this you have this battery. This battery, we have this bulb, switch, right? Insert some tester through which you just come to know whether this wire is conducting or not conducting this electricity. So through which we can say, if we join this and this bulb start glowing, that means these metals are the wire is conducting electricity. So metals are good conductor of heat and electricity. And in next diagram we have, okay, action of steam. In this we will discuss later on. See, next we have students, metals are generally good conductor of heat and electricity except lead and mercury. As I just discussed with you, non-metals are poor conductor of heat and electricity. Non-metals are not good conductor of poor conductor. They are poor conductor of heat and electricity, right? Except graphite. Graphite conduct electricity because of the free electron present in the graphite, right? Graphite conduct heat and electricity. Density. What about density? Generally metals have high density and high melting point except sodium and potassium. Except sodium and potassium, all other metals have high density, whereas non-metals generally have low density and low melting point. Now, what about sonorous? Sonorous means they produce sound. Metals, they produce sound on striking with a hard surface, so they are called as sonorous. Whereas non-metals, they can't produce sound. So let's see. This is all about the physical properties of metals. Now we will see the chemical properties of metal. First we have reaction of metal with air, right? Metals combine with the oxygen to form metal oxide. Means metal, when they combine with oxygen, they form metal oxide. Like if I say this magnesium reacting with oxygen, they form magnesium oxide. So by balancing this, you will get this equation, magnesium oxide. So metal combined with oxygen to form metal oxide. See, this metal combined with oxygen to form metal oxide. Examples like copper combined with oxygen to form copper oxide. Aluminium combined with oxygen form aluminium oxide, right? Different metals show different reactivity towards oxygen. Yes, of course, it's very important. Like metals like sodium and potassium, they are react so vigorously that they catches fire immediately if we kept in open. So they are kept immersed in kerosene oil. Again, one marker question arises from here, that why we should keep sodium and potassium in kerosene oil, because they are highly reactive metals. They react immediately vigorously with the oxygen and catches fire when we kept in open. So we should take precaution and keep these metals in kerosene oil. We should not keep them in open space. Okay, then magnesium, aluminium, zinc and lead react slowly with air. These elements are covered with a thin layer of oxide. uh, in generally in aluminium, in case of aluminium, you must have seen a whitish powdery substance is deposit over the surface of aluminium metal. That is the layer of oxide, because oxygen react with aluminium, form aluminium oxide, right? So these elements are covered with a thin layer of oxide. Next, iron does not burn. Iron does not burn on heating with iron filling burn vigorously. Iron does not burn on heating, but iron filling burns vigorously. Copper does not burn, but it's coated with black copper oxide. Again it not burn, but it reacts with oxygen and cover with the black color coating of copper oxide. Again, silver and aluminium and gold. Sorry, AU is gold. Silver and gold do not react with oxygen at all. So they are available in free space, right? In free state, sorry, in free state in atmosphere. Next we have, so that is this silver and gold is they do not react with oxygen. That is why the reason we can wear them, okay, without any cause of damage to our organs. See, next we have amphoteric. What is amphoteric? Let me see over here. Yes, first we study this. Okay, reaction. Second, reaction with water. See, metals react with water to form metal oxide. Metal oxide plus hydrogen. When metals reacts with water, they form first metal oxide and then hydrogen gas liberated. And then this metal oxide and water combine to form metal hydroxide, right? See this sodium when react with hydrogen they form hydroxide, so called as sodium hydroxide, and hydrogen gas liberated and heat is produced, right? As this sodium is a very reactive metal, it immediately react with oxygen as well as with water. See, this aluminium, iron, and zinc they react with steam only, right? Whereas this sodium, potassium, and calcium they react with simple cold water. Also, you must have seen in your daily life when somebody wants to whitewash their house, in even in the previous days it is very common practice. Calcium oxide is dipped in the water, is poured into the water is poured into the calcium oxide, and there was a very vigorous reaction, and because of very and kind of exothermic reaction you can say, where heat is liberated and calcium hydroxide is formed. Reaction with hot water. This magnesium is react with hot water. So metals like sodium, calcium, and potassium are highly reactive. They react even with the cold water, whereas this magnesium is moderately reactive metal. It reacts with hot water, whereas these three metal, aluminium, iron, and zinc, they react with the steam only. Okay, whereas these are least reactive metals, so they hardly show any reaction with water. Calcium and magnesium float on reacting with water, right? Keep in mind this, calcium and magnesium float when reacts with the water. So these are the reactions when sodium react with water, form sodium hydroxide and hydrogen, and heat. As I told you, exothermic reaction, heat is evolved, heat is liberated. Magnesium and water react with and form magnesium hydroxide, right? And hydrogen gas liberated. As we know, when in our previous worksheet also, in acid and base we have already studied that metals when react with water they form hydroxide and hydrogen gas is liberated. Aluminium and water react with aluminium hydroxide, and again hydrogen gas evolved or liberated, right? Next, C. We have amphoteric oxide. What are amphoteric? Metal oxide which react with both acid as well as bases to produce salt and water are called amphoteric. Very important. What are amphoteric oxide? The metal oxides which reacts both with acid as well as with base and produces salt and water as a byproduct. They are called as amphoteric. See, the example of amphoteric is aluminium oxide and zinc oxide. They are the example of amphoteric. One marker question sometime arises. So zinc oxide as well as aluminium oxide are the example of amphoteric oxide. So aluminium oxide react with zinc and aluminium oxide react with acid to form aluminium chloride, whereas this aluminium when react with base is formed sodium aluminate, right? And student, this is something I would like to share with you. Important thing, reactivity series, how to learn. I have a short trick. You can learn this reactivity series by learning this. केदारनाथ का माली आलू ज़रा फी के पकाता है, कुछ हींग अजवाइन और पड़ते. Where this केदार, K stand for potassium, Na stand for sodium, Ca stand for calcium, Mg stand for magnesium, Al stand for aluminium, Zn for zinc, Fe for iron, Pb for lead, H for hydrogen, Cu for copper, Hg for mercury, Ag for silver, Au for gold and Pt for platinum. Where these are highly reactive metal, whereas these are moderate reactive metal and these are least reactive metals. Okay, so you have to learn this reactivity series. This is very important as far as your metals and non-metal is concerned, so learn by heart. Okay, mug up it. It is very easy and simple and you can easily find out which are highly reactive, moderate and least reactive metals. So let's come to our worksheet. See, let's do practice exercise. First question we have, name the metal which is liquid at room temperature. This mercury is metal which is liquid at room temperature. Explain the meaning of malleable and ductile. See, the metal which can be beaten into thin sheets are called malleable, and ductile which can be drawn into thin wires are called ductile. Means the object which can be drawn into thin wires are called ductile in nature. Why are sodium and potassium stored under the oil? Very important. Sodium and potassium react vigorously, that there catches fire immediately. So when they kept in open, so they kept immersed in the kerosene oil. We cannot keep these metals in open. We have to immerse them in the kerosene oil. What are amphoteric oxide? And give the example. You can write easily from here. This is the right answer of amphoteric oxide with examples. So this is all about today's worksheet. Hope you liked it. You understood it very well. So do like, share with your friends and subscribe the channel those who have not. Okay student, take care. Bye bye.